Hello messers, back again. This time we're going to see if we can do some improvements and mess about with this electric guitar. When I purchased it, it seemed pretty good, but I'm going to try some basic things on it to make it play a little bit better and feel a little bit better. Which you can do at home. I've done a few of these guitars, not new ones, never new ones, with varied success. No way I'm going to be able to do the job of a professional, but I know someone who is a professional. He's given me some hints and tips on what he can, what he can't do, what he should and what he shouldn't do. So let's get to it. The first thing I need to know, before anything, because I'm changing the setup and this has a tremolo, I've got to find out what my string radius is. Now, to do that, I need some radius gauges, which I have here. I'm guessing out of the other ones I've done, it's going to be around a 15 to 16 inch radius. So let's do that. So first of all, I'm going to loosen the strings off so we can get the things under the strings and see if we can figure out what it is. Nice and easy. We don't need to take the strings off as yet. We'll do a string change on it later on. And we're going to just put the gauge across it. I'll use 12th fret. If we can, I've loosened them off enough. Push them underneath and see if we've got a gap. And to be honest, that looks like the one. We are going to a 15 inch radius. We'll try another one just in case there's a better fit, but that looks pretty good. To be fair, I'm just checking the clearance between the gauge top to see if there's any at all, and there was none there. I know it's the same radius all the way down the neck. I mean, I don't know where you're meant to check it. I check it in the 12th, it's kind of the middle. Not much difference here. It could be either one. Let me double check. The 15 again. Check twice. Do it once. I mean, I don't know how accurate these things. These are all tools I've purchased myself. I'm going to go with a. I'm going to go with a 16. That seems better on the edges. So we're going to say a 16 inch radius fretboard, which to be honest I think is more common. Let me know in the comments if you've done one. You can find any information on the radius of these because I can't online. I found out some information. The body of these is poplar or alder. Probably poplar. Yeah. Neck, it either says rosewood or redwood. Yeah, I don't know the difference. It feels a lot like, as I said before, the same neck that's on my nephew's Harley Benton, which I think they say is laurel. Can't remember. Yeah. Now we'll tune this back up because I want it tuned back up before we start messing about with it. So we'll do that. Let's talk about what I'm going to do on the guitar today is simple setup adjustments that anyone I think can learn. I mean, talking to people or the person I know who does this professionally, it's very much a case of you do it and you do it and you do it some more and then you get good at it and things become second nature. So I'm going to hopefully give you some things you can do at home yourself before you take it to a guitar tech. Because you never know. It may save you a few quid. I mean, if you're an absolute beginner, I probably wouldn't attempt this. I'd probably still say take it straight to a tech, get them to do it. But as you, like myself, I've been playing for years. I've been like, I'd like to give that a go, and that's how I've started. I've done a few of these, but every other guitar I've done has been second hand. It's not been a new one. I've had various results. I've got great action on them. They're playable. They don't make any fret burrs. Other ones, no matter what I do to them, just terrible. But again, they're second-hand guitars. I don't know. It could be problems with it. You could have a warped neck. There could be problems with it. Anything else. But I tried my best, and it's all learning. Done things from changing the nuts to changing all the hardware. I've never done the electronics. I'm hoping to do a video in the future where I do my first attempt at swapping over some pickups and some electronics in an SG, if that's something if you'd like to watch. I've got to unfortunately buy some more parts for it first before I get involved in that. But there, we're all tuned up. And onwards, we're going to just start this quite simply. We've tested with the most basic of tools ever, with a frets ruler, where our action is. Now we are reading on the 12th fret. According to this, we have an electronic guitar. This is on a high level, it's above high. So I want to try and get that down so it's on the mark. If I can get it down that small amount, that I think would make a huge improvement. And on the high, it's about the same, to be fair. It's not any different now. That's even higher again. So, yeah. One thing that's always baffled me about beginners electric guitars, they're Stratocasters, which, let's face it, it's probably the most iconic shape of guitar. Most people, when you think guitar, this is the shape that springs to mind, you know. But the thing is, with the Stratocaster, it comes with a tremolo system. Now, tremolo systems are probably the worst thing you can get as a beginner guitarist, because if you don't set them up correctly and you overuse them, or your nuts not very good, or your saddles aren't very good, you can be playing with the bar and it go wildly out of tune, and it can just frustrate you. I've known plenty of people who have had that experience, and it's put them off them for life. So yeah, it baffles me. Why make the shape? Why not put a fixed bridge in? You know, that's surely cheaper for the manufacturer as well, because you can keep there's a cutout in the back. You could keep that. It wouldn't make any difference. You just put the bridge in the front, you know, and then you could upgrade it as you wanted it to. But there you go. Maybe I'm being silly. The other thing I want to do, other than the setup, is sort the frets out. Now, I don't know if you can see this. I'll try and focus in. Now, the frets are quite dirty, so I'll bring the camera forward as slowly as I can, as not to ruin anything. Now, I'm not sure if you can see that, but they're quite dirty, rusty, not looking very good down the bottom here. As you move up, they do get better. I mean, I don't know how long this has been in storage, but it's obviously been in storage for a while. And yeah, it's one of those things, unfortunately, but it's not a problem. We can get them all shined up and looking pretty and nice. But the first thing I'm going to do is try and get the setup done. While it's all here, hopefully lower it without too much neck adjustment. I've checked the neck where it is at the moment. But the first thing I do, I'm going to go idiot on it and just lower these all about a turn. So I'm equally lowering everything. I'm not messing about with anything else. I'm not being... Again, this isn't a professional job. This is something I've done, a sort of quick and easy thing. So I want to lower it. So I've got one turn on that. One turn on each of these screws. So whatever they've set it up as, it's all in the same radius. On something like a Tune-o-matic bridge, it's a lot simpler because you've just got two screws at either end, and you just turn each one and everything else comes down equally. These are individual saddles. Like these Telecasters are similar. They've sometimes got like this, they're individual. They can be 3. So we're not doing anything other than lowering this, hopefully equal amounts. I mean, what I'm going to do once I'm kind of happy with it is then put the radius on across it and see if I've got high parts and low parts. Right, that's obviously going to affect the tuning when you've done that. So now the guitar is no longer in tune. But first we're going to have a look on our frets ruler. That's how you pronounce it, and see where we are. Now that hasn't come down a massive amount. One turn. It's come down a tiny bit. So what I'm going to do, I've done one turn. I'm going to go for a second. Risk it for a biscuit. So one other turn on all of these. When you're adjusting things on a guitar, try and remember how many times you've turned everything. Because if you completely balls it up, you can put it back. Obviously, unless you start cutting things and all the rest of it, and going at it with a hammer. But most things can be readjusted. And I've always said to friends of mine who are worried about this, worst comes to worst, you're going to be taking it to a professional anyway. You know, but if you manage to do it yourself, hey, brilliant. I mean, again, I've never managed to get one as well as I could take it to a professional. I mean, absolutely worth their weight in gold. They really are. There we go. Right, we've done 2 turns. 2 turns to lower the saddle all the way. And let's see where we are now. That, I think, is kind of where I wanted it to be. That is definitely where I wanted it to be. Now, again, I'm not going to be worried about the fine adjustments, making sure the radius is right. Check the 12th fret. I think that is a lot higher. See, I don't think that's completely right. There we go. That's good. That's good. It could probably come up a little bit, but no, it's not. It's still not what you'd call low. That's not low. Low. And then the next thing to do is tune it and see if we've got any buzz. So back up we go. I mean, if this does this instantly just by doing that, I'll be very happy and also quite surprised. Not because anything other than normally it's not that simple. There are other adjustments like the truss rod and the bow in the neck and everything else, but we won't know until we've done it and tried it. Again, all of what I've just done can be undone and I can put it exactly how it was if I'm not bothered. And now we can check. All of these. See if we get any. We got a little bit of buzz there. Not bad though. But not bad, to be fair. I'm quite happy with that, I think. Let's give it a strum. I think that's better. I think that's better. Again, it's not the lowest setting. It's probably like what you'd call a medium action, or high on the 6. We've got. I mean, these high strings could come down a little bit. I think they're not tightened up greatly. I might do just have a turn there. I'm not getting any dead notes either. So that has worked out brilliantly, you know. Yeah. What kind of fluke is that? So that's fantastic. That's been quite simple. We're all tuned up. We've got lower action on it already. Very impressed, Third Avenue. Very impressed. That also helps with the fact that there's probably not anything overly wrong with any dodgy frets on it. But we'll check that next. Right, I don't want these guitar strings on there. I've decided I'm going to put, because I've got a few spare packets, some Ernie balls on there. Some 9 gauge. So let's get into that. And what we're going to do, because we have, the fretboard doesn't feel great. It feels cheap, it feels nasty. So I've been told that what I can do, other than lubricating everything on here with lemon oil and getting it nicer, I can get some really, really fine polishing sandpaper, very fine, like 10,000 grit plus paper, and just rub it on just to smoothen the wood texture out. I've said, but I don't know if this wood is bad enough for that to make any difference, but I am going to try that anyway. Also, it will clean up the frets, make them a look nicer. Put some lubrication on the nut as well, and I'm going to do it the way that doesn't cost any money, with a pencil. Might sound crazy to you, but you buy something like a Graphite nut, it's just a nut made of graphite, and that's all you're putting on it. It doesn't last forever, but every time you do a string change, a little bit of graphite on there, it helps the thing stay in tune, especially if you are using a tremolo. So let's get straight into that. I'm going to use this. To make life easier, because those strings are going to come off now. I guarantee I probably forgot to do something that I should have done. Before we started. I do like this little power peg. I know you can buy extensions for drills and things like that, which do the same job. I got this as a Christmas present, and well impressed with it. Couple of batteries, always works, fits everything I've ever put it on. So there we go. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I won't bore you with this boring process. I'll be back in a minute. And there we go, we've removed the strings, also removed the black back plate. Sorry. As you can see, it shows you springs in your tremolo system. That's adjusted right to the max. They didn't want anybody messing about with that. I'm not going to. Not at this moment. It's simple enough. You lose that, you adjust these screws to how high you want the tension on it. I'm not going to do that today because, again, it can, each time you adjust something, it can put something else out. You adjust the neck, that can put your bridge out, that can put your tremolo out, and back and forth and back and forth. Can take a while. There's no need to that. It's almost fixed down, as tight as it can be. I'm not worried about using the tremolo on this guitar at this point, so maybe in the future, because I'm not sure what to do with this. Now, my first impression was to buy it, see what it was like, and do these sorts of things to it, try and improve it and sell it on. Hopefully a beginner again love it. But I love the colour, and I don't have a Stratocaster. I keep buying them like this, or cheap ones, and going, oh, I'll get rid of it now. And I may do the same. But another part of me saying, you know what? The body's not bad. The neck's not the best in the world, but it's not the worst I've ever played. And I'm happy with the body, and I love the colour. why not do some upgrades on it, but not really expensive stuff? So see if we can improve the pickups for a limited amount of money. We know we can improve the nut. That will cost less than £10 to get a better nut on there, and that'll make a world of difference. And little things, and show you what you can do to improve it. Maybe even, not go head out and make it, put Seymour Duncans in it and Grover looking tuners or whatever you put on a Stratocaster, but just minor upgrades to make it that little bit better and that little bit more special to whomever gets it. You can feel the dust on this. Anyway, back to what we're actually supposed to be doing. Don't get sidetracked. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is, you can feel how rough that is. That's quite rough. Is check for any, if I can get the tool, can't pick it up. There we go. And check, see if we've got any high spots. There's a tiny little bit there on that fret. Checking the high spots on frets to see if there's any that stick out. I mean, we didn't have any string buzz. We did up here though, so that could be a reason for it, just that second fret. What we can do is just get our hammer. Light tap and see if that works. I've been told if there is an issue, that's made an improvement, not this end. I'm not hitting it hard. It sounds like I am, but I'm really not. It's a rubber mallet again, just cheap tools from wherever. Maybe a high spot there. There's hardly anything there now. Nothing to worry about. There's nothing there. Nothing I'd be concerned about there. Again, when you're doing this, you've got to be susceptible to what is going on. A tiny movement in this isn't really going to affect things that much. You'll get used to how much you can get away with on it, but most of this fretboard is, this is where it normally goes array. I just want to check these with that. That one's all right. And there's tiny bits, but it's maybe there. A little bit. I don't think there's anything major. Can get that one down. I mean, we had no fret bars here anyway. What a noise! You'd think I was absolutely smacking it, but I'm not. That's a little better. I'm happy with that. Happy. Most of this is all right. There is small amounts here, but it's not enough to cause a massive issue. You know it because you'd hear it ding 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 ding, and well, there's tiny bits. There's not anything I'd be dramatically worried about. To be fair, I wanted to show you that's just something simple you can do. I mean, if you get it so bad and tapping them doesn't work, then it is a case of fret level, polish, and all the rest of it. But to be honest, this doesn't need it. There's tiny bits of rock here and there, but it's nothing that is going to really cause an issue while playing the instrument. Right, so let's see now. I mean, what to do first? I might do the frets first, and this is something I have done before, and I was told it works if you're in a scrape. To get rid of sharp frets. That's a nail file. And I've been told you get rid of any nasty sharp frets just by rubbing this gently along them, and you can feel where they're rough and you're just literally gliding it across them. You don't want to go overboard. This is quite coarse, so you can feel something nasty. Just smooth and round them off. That feels better already. Got to be careful because this thing's not designed for it. That last one is particularly bad, not that you'll ever feel it. Just rounding them off. We've done a few of these earlier to test it was okay. Feels better. And that's all I'm doing. One run off on each fret. I wonder if I missed one. These don't feel too bad. They feel a lot better at the top. I swear when they do them, they pay more attention to the top part of the neck of the guitar than the bottom part. But let's do the other side. I'll spin it round. You get to see it from a different angle. Okay. Like to keep you posted. And he's even sound better on that side. These aren't too bad here. These are. It's just putting a slight more groove on them and polishing them. I mean, you could see on these when you looked at them how rough they are. Just putting a slight more round on them. Hope I'm not scratching it too much. I don't think this thing's going down well enough. It's a bit harder. Again, you'd have to have some big hands to get down here. I'll try that later. I think that's a bit better. Feels a bit smoother. Not so sharp, not so bad. Again, it's not a professional job. It's just something you could do if you feel, oh, that doesn't feel good. And you can give it a very lightly. I'm not putting really any effort into that whatsoever. I'm doing bare minimum. I don't want to damage or knacker anything because you could screw those up. In fairness. So that might not be something you want to try. But that's made them better. It's still not perfect. And I think, yeah, you could definitely get a professional to do a better job. But, you know, for what I'm doing here, I'm a lot happier with that. A lot happier. Next thing you do, we're going to try this trick he's told me with the light sandpaper. I wish you could show you the feeling. It just feels rough. It doesn't, it's hard to explain. I wonder if there's anything, what can I do to sort of show you the coarseness? Let's try one of these. No, that doesn't work. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to get some, a few bits of sandpaper, some 10,000. We're going to try something a little bit more coarse than that first. I'll show you some 7,000. Because again, all I want to do is almost polish this. No more, just to make it smoother. I don't really want to take anything off the frets whatsoever. So, nothing like that. What I'm going to do is grab myself a pair of scissors. And cut some bits off, I think. We'll go with that much on each one for now. And all I'm going to do with this, with the 7000. We'll start down here, we'll do a test. Right, just rubbing that in. That's a huge difference already. That feels so much smoother than that one which we haven't done. That's 7000 grit. Again, I don't want to take anything too much. That's so much nicer. It's just almost finishing the guitar, giving it a nice smoother feel. Because at the end of the day, guitar, how the guitar feels under your fingers is important. I think any guitarist will tell you that. You don't want something that feels horrible to hold. I mean, that's what it comes down even to neck sizes. Some guitars, some people like because of the certain neck shapes and designs. And then someone else will go, oh, I don't like that. I'm not overly fussy. I do have my favourites. I do like compound radius. I don't know what compound radius is. You have a radius over the fretboard, over the whole fretboard. And the compound one, it will start at a different radius from here. Like I think my Solo 2 is 12-inch radius here. It flattens out to a 16 here. So as you play it, this is easier for chords. That's better for lead work. I only got that guitar last year, but what a difference. It's like, wow. Everything else just seems a bit subpar after playing that neck, definitely. I was even thinking, what could I do to upgrade this to the extreme? To sort of find someone who sold a compound radius neck. Put that and put that on it. That's so much nicer. Do it. Anyway, I'll carry on doing this with the two types of sandpaper. Join me in a minute. Right. Mellowly polished or sanded the neck down. Not really sanding it, you're just smoothing it out. Smoothing it, is that a word? God knows. Anyway, so it just feels better underneath your hands. The next thing you do, as I said, clean up these frets. Now, even just the polishing I've done with the sandpaper has taken some of the rust off. But I'll show you another thing I've done many times in the past. Now, I use these. Now, a lot of people do. They think they're absolutely poor, and they are really as polishing items. But they are good if you've got stubborn, heavier bits of dirt and corrosion and stuff on your frets. So I found them very good for that. Not really polishing, not to make the frets shine. So I wouldn't call them polishing today. They call them erasers, but they don't really do enough to take anything off. So we're just going to give them a quick rub. It should get rid of the rust on these. I'm not really doing other than get rid of it. That's 1000 grit. I may need a heavier grit. I used to use wire wool and stuff, but wire wool is so messy. I mean, let's show you now. I mean, you have to go back to the video. I'll pick this up, show you, see if you can see any difference in the frets of what it was like. I mean, they already look a little better, but unfortunately you can't really tell on the angle, but we've definitely got rid of some rust on them anyway, just by the other polishing papers, but that's pretty much got rid of the nasty amount. I wish you could see better, but unfortunately in a camera it doesn't seem to show you that well, unfortunately. This is just 1000 grit, whatever they call these fret and string erasers. And that's got rid of all of the rust on that fret. We'll get rid of the heavier stuff. Really easy. Back and forth. So here we are. Blow away the excess, don't worry, we're going to polish the guitar before we go anywhere else with it. Next one. Bit there. And then these don't really take anything off, well not this grit anyway, it doesn't take anything off of the fret. I definitely think if you've got someone who likes to tinker with guitars, I think these are handy to own. I really do. They're not the best thing in the world, you know. I think the really fine sandpapers are, but these are very handy for things like this because you can get through so much sandpaper very cheaply, but these last forever. I've done this with about 4 guitars on these so far. So much for I'm getting like grooves in the stuff and finding somewhere else I've got to do it. But again, I don't need to do all of these frets with this because it is generally these bottom ones, which are the bad ones. And they are looking brand spanking new again. Which is what they should look like in the first place, to be honest. To be fair. I mean, if you're watching this because you do the same sort of thing, let me know if you've got a preferred method of cleaning and polishing these things. Because I'm still learning this. This is why I'm messing about with it, you know. I enjoy doing this. I don't want to mess it up. I still want to learn how to do it. I think most guitarists hit a point where it's sort of like, you know what, I want to try that. It's not because you don't want to pay the person professional to do it. It's because it's like with any hobby. You want to learn every in and outs of it. How do I do that? How do I repair that? And that's what I want to do, the electronics. I've never done them before, and I want to do them on a guitar. As I said, I have a Project Epiphone SG I bought a few years back. But more on that video. You'll have to watch it to find out what happens and what we're going to do to it. But now we've got major of this up. You know what? I've started, so I may as well finish and go all the way up. Alright, all the way up with this one. These don't really need a lot. There's no horrible stuff on them. To be fair, none at all. It was just those bottom ones there that were particularly nasty. I don't know if as I've been doing this it has paid any attention or made any difference to what is going on. You're sat there going, wow, look at the difference, and you're probably like, I can't tell the difference, mate. You're crazy. Yeah. Yep, that's not been said many times. But yeah, very happy with that. Got the dirt and the rust off. I'll see if I'll try and zoom in again and show you. But I don't think you can really tell unless you go back to the video and see if there is a distance. We can't. Shadows just get in the way. Try from another angle. But yeah, it's got the majority of the rust off there. So happy days. Happy days. Right. I think the last thing in the video that we were going to do, we've done the fret ends. Before I restring it, I won't put you through the restringing. I'm not that cruel. This video's been going on for quite a while as it is. I'm going to do the simple thing now, because that I think is going to make a huge difference and give it a clean up. These are things worth buying if you're a surface that. Some simple guitar polish for the body, some lemon oil for the neck. This little Dunlop kit I got a few years ago. I've done lots of guitars with these. So I bought some Music Nomad stuff now. But there we go. Just clean the dust off with that. And what we're going to do, quite simply, put some of this on there. I would give the frets an even bigger polish, but to be fair, I think they're shiny enough. I'm just going to rub that in all over the board, let it soak in for a few minutes. See I like this bit, it's very satisfying. You see the lifeless wood suddenly pop. Oh, it looks better already. We leave that on there a few minutes, let the wood soak it up. While we're here, why not? Because I've got a guitar, there's no dust or dirt on it, it's been left in a bag, but you know, might get rid of any smudges. Give that a quick wipe down where we're at it. And that is it. The other improvements you can get other than restringing it, and this video's gone far too long for me to make you sit through and do that. There's some simple improvements you can do to your beginner guitar. Set the action. And yeah, get the fretboard feeling a lot nicer. You've got everything here. The only other thing I said I was going to do and show you, simple lead pencil. The top of your nut, if you can see me, I'm just going to, before I restring it, I'm just going to dab a little bit of, it's like colouring in. A little bit in the nut slot, in the nut slots here. So when I put the string in, there's a tiny bit of lubrication there. I mean, what I should have done is kept the old strings. And then I could have put a bit on that. I've done this before, and yes, it does help. I mean, to be fair, anything you can do to make a cheap guitar play and sound better is a winner. Let's clean the excess off. And that is looking good. Look, that next looks now. That looks fantastic. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will do a small short video once I've strung it up on a little test. And hopefully you'll watch that as well. Thank you for watching.